OpenAI has just released Image v2, and today I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about their latest update. April 21st of 2026, they introduced Images 2.0, and while the demo was super impressive, there were some things that I enjoyed about using this model, but there were also some things that I was a bit disappointed in. So in today's video, I'm going to answer the question of, is this better than Google's Nano Banana, and should you replace that in your workflows? And also, what are the things that this model is really good at that you should know about? So just scrolling down here, they have a slideshow showing some of the things that this model is capable of, but keep in mind this is a demo, so tread lightly and don't trust everything you see in the demo, because their last Sora demo was like, oh my gosh, they're going to replace Hollywood. And then I used the model and I'm like, it's pretty cool, but it's definitely not there yet. So scrolling down a bit further, you'll see that they have on this blog post an image mode, which shows the entire blog post written out by image. And this was actually pretty creative. I like how they did this. And you can scroll through here and you can see the different images. One of the things that they claim they can do really well now is these UIs. So this one looks pretty legit. This looks like an actual screenshot. And this collage here looks really nice. They've got some good typography, good consistency across the board. But I'm just going to switch over to classic mode here, and I'm just going to show you a few things about this model before I jump in and show you some of the real results that I got when I was testing it out. So they say that the model is a step change in detailed instruction following, placing and relating objects accurately and rendering dense text with the ability to generate across multiple aspect ratios. And I would say that this is partially a true statement, but there were some times where I noticed it wasn't able to keep the text consistency during my tests. It's definitely better than the last model, don't get me wrong, and it's definitely comparable to Nano Banana when it comes to text. I don't know if it's totally solved yet, because even in the limited tests that I ran, I still had some artifacts on my text and it just didn't come out quite right. And Images 2 is their first model with thinking capabilities. As you can see here, they have two different modes of this model. They have a lighter mode, which just generates the images outright. And then they have a thinking mode that actually thinks through, analyzes the situation, plans out the prompt, and then injects that prompt. And as you can see here, it says with thinking, the model can take even more of the heavy lifting between idea and image, which I found was true because it did some web search in between while I was telling it to create an image. It thinks through the whole process. So I'm sure that helps with the quality of the images. And they have some examples here with the prompt and the image. So this one's a screenshot and it just says a screenshot of ChatGPT in a browser on Mac OS X. The user types, draw me a dog. ChatGPT draws an ASCII dog. The front window is ChatGPT, but the desktop is quite messy with lots of random windows. For example, a terminal, they're all in the background. And then they have a magazine collage, which I already showed you once. And then they have the mound of rice. You can see that it says GPT Image 2 on one of these grains of rice down here. That was kind of a cool demo thing that they showed. I don't know how practical that is, and I don't know how that transfers across other images that you create, if it's actually going to be able to pull that off consistently. But nonetheless, it was interesting to see. And then we have the science page, and this is where I think this model is super strong. Generating these like news articles, website UIs, just kind of first passes over that stuff, because although I said that it wasn't perfect with text, it is pretty strong and it's done a pretty good job from what I can tell on the images that I generated. And then finally, a handwritten essay. And I think that this one is very impressive as well. It did a great job. I'd be curious to see if it could transfer styles of handwriting and stuff like that though. Like if I wrote something, if it could finish the writing on the page. They say it's stronger across different languages. And then they give some examples of Japanese manga, Indian bookstore, a Chinese comic, Korean advertisement, and a typography poster. Then we have photorealism, and they mentioned in their demo that if you use photorealistic or realism in your prompts, that it generates better images. So this is just something to keep in mind. This one actually looks super real. And you can get anything from a 3:1 to a 1:3 on your aspect ratio. So you can get a lot of different shapes of images here, which is very useful. And you get these aspect ratios just by simply telling it what you want it to generate in. And then they also highlight that it has real world intelligence. This probably has something to do with the thinking model itself. It has a knowledge cutoff of December 2025, which is actually pretty recent. And as you can see here, it's crafting up theorems. It's got this design trends for 2025. It's got this color analysis. And again, I think this is what the model is really well suited for, is these types of illustrations where you have a lot of text and you want to get a sample of something. You can generate these explainers too. So if you wanted to learn something, you could visually see it in an explainer like this. It's available in Codex and to their API, so you could build this into your product. And it looks like they have it in Canva, Figma, Adobe, and OpenArt. And here they're transparent about some of its limitations. Then it gives a few examples where it needed some reviews for accuracy on some of these images. So they're being very honest about this. Now I'll quickly show you some examples that I tested here. Like I uploaded this screenshot here of my screen with ChatGPT in the background and me just looking the other way. And I told it to put me in the bottom right corner with a white t-shirt on, and it generated the image, but number one, it doesn't look like me. Number two, it pixelated my face. And number three, it added this weird artifact all over the screen. So I wasn't impressed with that first pass there. But then I uploaded my brand guide for AI Foundations and I asked it to create a creative modern design for a website. And I failed to hit image on that one. So then it just started laying out the brand guide for me. But then I said, no, I want you to create an image of this. And it created this beautiful website right here. So I think it actually did a pretty good job at getting an idea of what I would want for a site. But then I looked into it and I was like, okay, this is not exactly what our site is about. So I gave it some more information, and this is where I really got to see that it could reason through things, because it actually looked up my website in its thinking chain, it found all the subject matter, and it improved upon my logo a bit. So this is what we got after that. And I think this one looks a lot better. I like the call to action at the bottom here. This could definitely be a starting first pass if you're creating a website. You could hand this off to Codex or Claude Code and you could have it punch it out and keep working on the website from there. But this is a quick way to get a mock-up of some ideas. And then I told it to look through all of my videos that performed well here. I gave it a screenshot of my YouTube channel, and then I said, I want you to redesign the thumbnails and replace them in here for the videos that didn't perform as well. Create more like the videos that did well and that got the most views, but make sure the subject matter is related to the video that you're actually replacing. And they did a great job of replacing these thumbnails, but I wouldn't say that it followed the task perfectly because I didn't want it to replace all of them. And it actually went through and just changed all of them. So then I asked it to scale this one up, and this is where I got this AI generated looking version of me. And I was thinking, you know, in the demo, it looked like everything was super photorealistic. And also the text down here, as you can see, it's all scrambled up. They didn't get any text coming in properly here. So that was a bit of a letdown, but the text up here that matters is really good and it kept the logos pretty nice. So then I thought to myself, okay, maybe it's just struggling with understanding what I look like because it's pulling it from this image that it already generated, right? So then I actually uploaded an image of me. I uploaded an image of the Obsidian logo and the Claude logo, and I told it to recreate the thumbnail, and it did a better job, I would say. Still looks a bit AI generated, but I think that this one turned out better when I gave it some inspiration assets that it could go off of. And then finally here, I just asked it to make a sprite sheet of an Australian Shepherd doing multiple different motions. And the big one here is I asked it to create this image with a transparent background. Now, if you're not familiar, this is something that none of these image models can do. None of them can do it well, at least. And so what I was surprised by is that this one can actually generate these transparent backgrounds. So this was really impressive, and I could really see some places where I could use this. Now to close this out, I'm going to see if I can create the thumbnail for this video that you're watching right now inside of ChatGPT. And let me know if you clicked on it and watched through. If it does a good job, I might use it in the future for other thumbnails. But I'm going to take everything that I learned from this guide so far, and we're going to try to make this better. So I'm taking this thumbnail that I created for my Opus 4.7 release video, and I'll also take this one that I made for the Claude Design release. And I'm just going to tell it, the first two thumbnail screenshots were thumbnails from my YouTube channel for prior release videos that I made for Claude videos. These use Claude's branding in a tasteful way in the thumbnail, and they also share screenshots of what the tool can do. I want you to create a high-performing thumbnail similar to the one that I made for Claude Design, but I want you to make it for OpenAI's new Image v2. Maybe what we should write is ChatGPT Images 2 or ChatGPT Images 2.0, something like that. And I want you to keep it very tasteful. As you can see in these thumbnails, I don't have a lot of text, but I do have some nice vignettes and the background looks nice. I want you to generate this photorealistic, high quality to show your capabilities with Image v2 on the big screen, because I might use this for a thumbnail if you do a good job. Include the ChatGPT logo that I have appended. And just like that, it generated the image. Now it included me, and I don't know if I wanted myself in here. I like what it did here, but I want it to vary the images a bit more. And here's the actual thumbnail that I'm actually going to test out on this video. And if you don't see it on this video when you click on it, it's probably because it didn't perform that well, so I might swap it out. I hope you enjoyed today's update on OpenAI's new Images v2. And if you want to stay sharp on the latest skills in AI for the workplace or for your own business, then I recommend joining our community below. We get on a weekly call. We provide courses there on all of the mainline tools. And if you want to work with us directly, then click on the Work With Us link below. Like this video, comment below if you made it to the end, and subscribe so you never miss another video. We'll see you guys in the next one.